we take you for a spin around the panel as we bring you the TNA Spin Cycle. Welcome back to the Spin Cycle here on TNA Explosion, TNAWrestling.com. So glad you've joined us. We are back now with this panel. Everybody liked them so much, we've invited them back for a second round of the Spin Cycle. Let's welcome, first of all, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, the Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm. She is one of the TNA knockouts behind the Mexican-American. We're talking about Rosita.
Oh, you're forgetting something. Knockouts Tag Team Champion, hello.
One half of the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Rosita. My apologies, yes. On the other side of things, we have two members of the group Immortal. Let's welcome, first of all, Cold Blood Matt Hardy. And, of course, Bully Ray from the streets of New York.
You all love me, and you know it. You love me. You love me.
Everybody talks about sacrifice in the wrestling industry. A lot of you have sacrificed everything you had to make it in TNA wrestling, to make it as big as you are. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of road miles, a lot of travel, a lot of things that you've had to do over the years to get to where you are. With the theme being sacrifice, what is the sacrifice you are most proud of? What is the biggest sacrifice you've made in your career to get to where you are today? Household names, the biggest stars in the wrestling industry. What was your sacrifice? Let's take her for a spin. Matt Hardy, curious of yours first.
I just definitely think my biggest sacrifice is doing whatever it takes and being willing enough to destroy your body and lay it on the line each and every night, regardless of the consequences, whatever it may be, to do whatever it takes to do this business that we love.
And that's probably true. I think there's a lot of instances over the years that we could cite for the both of you. Obviously, some amazing ways that everybody here obviously put their bodies on the line. Is that the biggest sacrifice you've made, Bully Ray?
I agree with Matt, but the biggest sacrifice I've ever made that I am not proud of is that for the past 15 years I've carried Devon as my partner.
That's ridiculous.
That's the biggest. I sacrificed my own life in making him a somebody just so he could put food on the table for his 12, 15 kids, however many.
He does not have 15 kids.
Trust me, he's got 5 that he knows about. Legit ones.
That's scandalous.
It is. You don't know the man.
All right. Storm, what's the biggest sacrifice you've made?
I think just getting in the wrestling business, because once you get into the wrestling business, you actually sacrifice everything. I mean, I have a 5-year-old daughter who's always at home, and she calls me when I'm on the road asking when Daddy's coming home or when Daddy is going to go play basketball with her. So I think getting into the wrestling business, that's the sacrifice by itself.
Now, Rosita, you are the youngest amongst the panel here, freshest in the wrestling business. What sacrifices have you feel you've made so far to get to where you are?
Well, I mean, I agree with Dumb and Dumber over here.
Whoa.
Yeah, that being that, you sacrifice so much with your body alone, the time and effort that you put into it. See, my father was the one who drove my, passion for the wrestling business in general. So I think, I haven't, being so young in the wrestling business, I haven't done everything I could do, and I didn't sacrifice everything that I can yet, but I feel like I do have sacrificed a lot, especially with my body and, most of that.
Well, certainly no argument there. The fact that, everybody here on the panel is, after some incredible matches over the years, some incredible tag team matches.
Are you dumb or dumber? Okay.
It brings us to our next question. Let's look across the panel here. I mean, we have one half. Obviously you're with the Mexican Americans, great tag team on the scene here in TNA Wrestling. But let's take a look. We have 3 of the greatest, most infamous tag team wrestlers in the history of the industry here on this panel. Of course, we've got one half of the former Team 3D Bully Ray, one half of the Hardy brothers, Matt Hardy, and of course, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Beer Money Incorporated. Now, guys.
Let's not forget America's Most Wanted, too.
Hey, you shut your face there, ears, okay?
What about the fact that the 3 of you now are in a position, I think, of knowledge to know what a great tag team is? If you were to go on the line, on the record right now, before God in public and our great audience here today, who is the greatest tag team of all time in the wrestling industry? We have 3 of the top experts, and you certainly have a close eye, too. Who is the greatest tag team of all time, covering every era? Let's take her for a spin. James Storm.
I am going to have to say the Midnight Express.
Anybody agree with that? Midnight Express. Why is that?
Just because they're to me, they're one of the founding fathers for tag team wrestling. Anybody who's been a part of a tag team has watched the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express when they had that big feud going on. So I think the Midnight Express kind of paved the way for everybody who's in tag team wrestling today.
Greatest tag team of all time. Throw it down for us.
Well, obviously, I would have to say it's me and Rosita. I mean, you do have, you know, Dumb and Dumber, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, whoever else you want to say. But, you know, getting just past tag team wrestling, I mean, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, those honestly have just put, like, so much, you know, inspiration on me that I can say, like, you know, either you're in tag team or not, they take the cake from me.
All right, Matt Hardy, what do you think? Greatest tag team of all time. Very interested to hear your opinion.
I would actually say the greatest tag team of all time is the Hardys. And
Anybody agree with that before we go any further? Does our panel agree? Greatest tag team of all time, the Hardys.
Yes.
One guy.
And then
He's not even a guy. He's sitting with his legs crossed.
that makes two of us then. And then I would imagine he should say the Dudleys because that's why we killed each other for 6 or 7 years fighting over that fact. But I mean, at the end of the day, it came down to me and him calling the shots anyway. So
You're going to say the Hardy Boys.
yes.
All right. Billy Ray, this is a topic I know you take very seriously as one of the greatest tag team performers of all time. Who is the greatest tag team in professional wrestling history?
I will say this. The Hardys and the Dudleys are the last of the great tag teams. The absolute, although Beer Money has done an excellent job of picking up that torch and running with it. And honey, if you play your cards right, me and Matt will tag team you later.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. That has nothing to do with the question. That is an irrelevant statement. I
don't even
apologize.
want all that. You can take
But
it, run with
as
it.
far as the greatest tag team of all time, to me, the answer is very simple. It is the Road Warriors.
I'd agree with that. On someone else?
The Road Warriors, to me, were the be-all and end-it-all, and they did the one thing that makes you great in this business. They made more money than anybody else, and that's it.
Bottom line.
Yep.
You know, you and Devon made a whole lot of money.
We made a load.
Yeah.
But the Road Warriors, I mean, to me, they are they're the top of the food chain. The Road Warriors weren't the greatest wrestlers in the world. You know, the Midnight Express was, much better, quote unquote wrestlers, workers in the ring. But the Road Warriors were, to me, the best package of a drawing tag team over the years.
Speaking of that, do you think they needed Paul Ellering?
Both of them were phenomenal talkers. I think Paul added to the mix, but I don't think they needed anybody ever speaking for them. I think they needed Paul to keep them in line on the road.
Yeah. Storm, can I?
She's not even tall enough to wrestle yet, man.
She ain't tall enough to get on this ride, that's for sure.
Wow. All right, you're going to go with the Road Warriors, Hardy Boys. Very interesting comments from all of you. Now, summer's here, and the time is right for concerts. Everybody loves the summertime concerts. Who's going to see some gigs, huh? Anybody? I'm going to go out on a limb and say we all have some very vast, different musical tastes here. Of course, the Tennessee Cowboy, the New Yorker, Carolinas, Latino. Best concert you've ever seen. Best concert you've ever seen. Been attended to, you've been in the row, you've cheered them on, maybe bought the t-shirt. Greatest concert you have ever seen. Let's take her for a spin. Bully Ray.
Oof, this is a tough one for me. It's a toss-up between three bands for me. It's AC/DC, Kiss, and Motley Crue.
You like the classics, you like the legends of rock.
You got AC/DC's greatest rock and roll band in the world. Kiss puts on a spectacular show, and with Motley Crue, it's just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. All of them for me, great shows, great times, always awesome.
Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm. Let's hear your
I'm
thoughts.
actually going to have to agree with Bully Ray and say AC/DC. I went to an AC/DC concert in Nashville, man. They rocked the hell out of that building. But I have to say a close second would be Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette.
She was hot back in the day.
She is smoking that, man. It's hot.
Really?
Yeah.
How about you, Rosita? Greatest concert you've ever seen?
Well, being that I am a Latina in America, I would say, I do speak English and I speak Spanish. So I do like salsa. I like salsa, merengue, bachata. So, just going to just bachata concerts, at Shea Stadium, it's just, it'll have anybody from, Daddy Yankee to Diego Calderon.
You know who I
anybody.
saw, which I thought was great in concert, was Ricky Martin. Oh, jeez.
Ricky,
I didn't know what I meant. No, I meant.
Okay.
No, I was saying.
I could put some salsa on my chimichanga for you.
Well, it wouldn't be that much now, would it?
Oh, wait a minute now. All right, let's not talk about Mexican food here on this program, please. Matt Hardy, greatest concert you've ever seen.
Without a doubt, Pearl Jam. And it was the first concert I ever went to. Probably my favorite band of all time. That was by far the most touching concert experience I've ever had.
Really? Yeah. Pearl Jam. So we've got some good.
I just want to add one thing, just a big shout out to my favorite guitar player of all time.
And mine.
A big fan of our show, and we're all big fans of him, to my boy, Zach Wild.
Yeah,
right there.
Zach Wild.
Black Label Society.
Very nice.